things we taught about at that November 7th was we showed a video by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. And it is a TEDx video if you've ever seen those, and so you can even Google it, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And he talks about business in general and how it really doesn't matter what we do or how we do it, it matters why we do it. But most businesses start from that idea of what we do, and most people working in a business, they know what the business does, but they don't always know why they do it. And so with doTERRA, this becomes even more key, because if you're trying to talk to somebody about joining you in doTERRA, if you're trying to build a business with doTERRA, and you're talking about what you do, essential oils, people might be like, well, yeah, that's really interesting, but I could potentially go buy those at the drugstore, or I could just use other peppermint tea instead of the peppermint oil, because all they're hearing is what you do, and they may really value that. They may think, yes, essential oils sound amazing, I get what, and then maybe you've explained how you use them, and they, okay, I get how, but do they know why? And do they know why doTERRA? And so sometimes when we find our businesses getting stuck, we're like, okay, I can't move forward, I'm stuck in this muck. And the article I wrote for the Leadership Magazine is called that, Stuck in the Muck, because I found that sometimes I just get to where I don't know where my direction is, and it's because I've lost my why. Because the why is what propels us forward in what we're doing. And the amazing thing for me, I'd run several other businesses. I am a clinical psychologist. That works really well. I owned a company called Seeking Sitters, built that really well. I understood why I was doing each of those. Sometimes with doTERRA, it's easy to lose that. But what I realized in the last year and a half of building with doTERRA is that God was really telling me, it is time to steward your life. Take charge. Be in control. Don't feel like you're dependent on these other areas of your life, even in your medical care, in your financial life, in your family life. You need to be looking at what you're doing and how to do it better. And it was, I was teaching an Essential Oils of the Bible class when I said this out loud, and it's one of those times when you say it and then you hear it and you're like, wow, that was good. Somebody write that down. Because I realized that with doTERRA, when I started it, I found that I could steward my physical health, really having an arsenal on my counter to protect and boost and take care of my body, my family, my children. I could steward my emotional health. As a psychologist, that's huge. I'm very focused on emotional health and mental health with people and giving them another alternative, something to support their bodies. I could support my spiritual health. Teaching the Essential Oil of the Bible class really gets that into your mind of how these are from God and how they can help us in our spiritual journey. And I could steward my financial health. Amazing opportunities with doTERRA. Amazing compensation plan. Amazing opportunities when you just share with other people. So what other product can you think of in the world that you could take care of all four of those areas of your life with one product? Your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your financial health. It's just such an amazing opportunity that I don't know how I don't share with other people. I have to. It has to be done. But I have to remember my why, and there it is, right there. Because I want to steward my own life, and I want to help other people do that as well. And whether they only choose the physical health piece, fabulous. Let's talk about how we can do that. Or the mental health piece, or they want to go the full route and get the financial and the spiritual, and we can do all of those things. One piece or all those pieces. That's the beauty of doTERRA. But when you're trying to build that, you have to figure out how to move yourself forward, and it is easy to get stuck. So I was reading a book by Carrie Lorenz, which she spoke at convention this past September. She was the first female F-14, I'm going to say that, I hope that's the right plane, thank you. I'm not good with planes, which is really bad because my dad's an Air Force pilot. I really ought to be good with planes, and I'm always like, yeah, big black plane, I don't know. You too, I know that one because that's the one he flew. Anyway, she was the first F-14 female pilot on naval carriers, taking off and on these boats. And so in her book, she talks about leadership and how she really developed her direction and her why. And before she was this amazing and really gorgeous F-14 fighter pilot, she was at University of Wisconsin, I believe, and she was on the rowing team. the crew team. And she said their team, very new baby team, was going to this big, like World Cup kind of event where there was Olympic trained teams there. There was teams that had been together for 5 years that were going to compete. They're this brand new baby team out of a college, and they decide, we're going to win it. We're going to win this thing. And everyone was like, yeah, aren't y'all cute? You're not going to win this. And so in their training, they decided their focus was going to be, what's going to make this boat move faster? Will this make the boat go faster? And so everything they did for 6 months focused on that why. Will it make the boat go faster? So if we run 40 more laps up and down the stairs, will that make our boat go faster? Yes, let's do it. If we go get hamburgers and fries and milkshakes tonight, will that make our boat go faster? No. Okay, we're not going to do it then. And she said, obviously they, weren't to the letter with everything, but for the most part, they made their decisions for an entire semester based on, will it make the boat go faster? And they won. And they won. Because they stayed so focused on that why. And doTERRA is the same way. So if you're looking at your doTERRA business and trying to figure it out, if you think to yourself, will this make my boat go faster? That's going to get you going where you want to go. So if I am writing a blog and Googling things, will that make my boat go faster? Probably not. If I am intentionally talking to 2 people a day, even if it's hard for me to stay and talk to strangers, will that make my boat go faster? Yes, definitely, no matter what. No matter how many no's you get from people, your boat will go faster if you just talk to more people. Success is built on failure. How hard is that to process, especially in American culture? American culture is failure is not an option, right? Failure better be an option in everything that you do, because you can't move forward without failure. Success is built on failures. We all know Thomas Edison's favorite quote, I didn't fail to make a light bulb, I just found 10,000 ways not to do it. And he kept doing it, he kept trying, because that is what's going to get you forward. Babe Ruth, #1 home running records, right? Home run hitting record. Also the records in strikeouts. But what would he do when he got up on that plate? Did he think, oh, is this one going to be a strikeout or not? What would he do? Point at the bleachers, right? Every time he's going to point at those bleachers. And sometimes he's going to hit the home run and sometimes he's not. But in here, he was hitting that home run every single time. And I think with our doTERRA business, going into January and thinking, okay, how do I get this moving? How do I get my boat going faster in January? Point at the bleachers. Point at the bleachers. Everything you walk into. If you walk into a class and you're going to teach that class and there's 1 person or there's 5 or there's 50, point at the bleachers. We're taking this out of the park. As soon as you walk in, point at your bleachers. I'm like, taking this out of the park. I'm enrolling everyone in this class. Walk into a room. I'm going to talk to at least 2 people in here. Point at the bleachers. Even better, I'm going to talk to every single person. Because if 100 people tell me no, I've talked to 100 more people than the people that didn't try. And somebody's going to say yes. And you really only need that one superstar to show up and say yes. And there you are. You're on your way out of the park. So, my big thing is thinking about going into January, of really spending the end of December thinking about what's your why. Watch that video by Simon Sinek. Really think about, why do I want to do this, if it's something that you want to do? And then think about, okay, how do I make my boat go faster then? Whatever your goal is. If your goal is small, I would just like to pay for my own products. I love my oils, but I would sure love if they were paid for, if they were free. Great, there's your boat. Figure out how to make that boat go faster. And if your boat is to take it to the top, Presidential Diamond, point at the bleachers and head for it. No matter what your goal is, point at the bleachers. Because sometimes you're going to strike out, sometimes you're going to hit a home run. So that's what I have. I appreciate y'all so much taking the time just to come listen, maybe process some things, and now we're going to party. So, thank you.